Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Vulcan Video. You know, you can't talk about iconic Austin and places that keep Austin wonderful and weird without talking about video stores like Vulcan Video. I think there's only, so Jacob Knight is the general manager here.
Hello.
Are there only 2 video stores left in Austin?
There is
locally owned?
Yeah, there's us and there's I Love Video up on Airport.
Okay.
We are the 2 remaining that have kind of remained here since the heyday of video stores in the 80s.
So this place opened around 1986, as you said, during the heyday when everybody was renting movies.
Right.
So obviously over the years you'd had to scale back. Is this your only location now?
It is now, yeah. We used to have a couple different locations. I've been here with the company for about 7 years now. I started on our old Elizabeth Street store that was off of
Over kind of near Warro's and that whole area.
Yeah, right behind Warro's, exactly. That's actually this store. Is that it moved from there to here, but we also had a store on 29th Street up by campus at one point. We had a store up on North Loop for about 5 years. At some point, and this predates me by a while, we also had a Lakeway location for the longest time. I think that one was very short-lived. So,
struggling to survive as Austin grows seems to be a common theme with a lot of these iconic businesses. You know, Threadgill's world headquarters had to shut down.
Sure.
And a lot of it has to do with the rising cost of rent. So talk about how that has impacted your business and what you've done about it.
Well, rent has risen, and that's been, a significant factor in how we've had to reach out to the community, recently with a Gofundme program, which has done incredibly well. But frankly, beyond the rent is only one factor. It's the simple fact that Austin as a whole, as a city, has changed. The demographics have changed. The mindset has changed to a certain degree. And it's not the, let's say, artist-friendly place to where you could work as a video store clerk and go eat.
Or work at a record store.
Yeah, or a record store, go eat $1.25 tacos and, still scrape by on your rent. Unfortunately, you can't do that anymore. Which is a bummer, but Vulcan Video is very much still keeping that spirit alive. And thanks to the community, we found out that a lot of people still want to see places like Vulcan survive despite any kind of cost increases. But it's worth stressing that everything changes. Like, saying that Austin has changed, or it sucks that the rent has increased or cost of living has increased, but it's still an awesome city and it's still a great place to live and work. And the simple fact that you're still able to even support 2 video stores. I came from Philadelphia. We had 0 video stores. And I know a bunch of people who live in a bunch of different American cities who don't have any video stores. So the simple fact that Austin can still, even as it evolves, continue to support 2 local businesses that are kind of weird and iconic like this, that's still something pretty special.
That means we still have some of our weird factor going, I suppose.
Yeah, there's still quite a bit of weirdos who live here.
So what role do you think a place like Vulcan Video plays in the creative culture of Austin, and why do you think that people have reached out and donated money to keep you guys paying your rent for the end of the year?
Well, because that's kind of a complicated question, but the main answer I always have for it is that video stores, beyond being a place that you can walk in, tangibly hold a piece of media in your hand, be it your favorite film from the 70s or a new release like Captain Marvel, that's a great experience, especially in the age of streaming, where most people just sit on their couch, scroll through a digital archive that isn't that expansive, frankly, and then select what they want to watch. We provide that experience, but we also provide just a community hub. That's what video stores are, and that's what's kind of gotten lost as they've, let's say, faded out from our cultural lexicon to a certain degree, is that it's a place where you can come and meet other people who hold your very strange, idiosyncratic, particular interests. You can talk to the clerks back here. They can tell you about what their favorite movies are, what they've watched recently, what they haven't liked recently, and then you can bounce off of that and go, oh, well, I watched X, Y, and Z. These are the things that I really love. And you form a bond with that individual just over a shared interest that wasn't there before. And that's something really special and something that we kind of lose touch with as we lose these types of businesses.
Yeah. Well, I know that the staff has played a big role in the popularity of the store because of that very reason, because you can come in here and go, hey, I'm looking for this, and I can't find it anyplace else. And like you said, that bonding. So we're going to kind of take a trip around the store. I've asked my friend Monty Williams, who is a frequent customer and screenwriter, and then we're going to come back and talk to you about Gofundme. So if you look around, actually, this is kind of interesting. There is a documentary film crew from Madison, Wisconsin here doing a documentary piece on their surviving video stores across the country, and Vulcan Video here in Austin being one of them. At least one of their stores is still afloat. But you can see that there are just shelves packed with anything and everything, different genres, things that you can't find perhaps digitally. So I asked my buddy Monty Williams to come talk about the role of this store as someone who's a screenwriter and movie lover. I mean, I think you've probably seen more movies in your lifetime than anybody I know.
Than I should have.
Than you should have. But Monty, why do you come here? I know you used to go to the 29th Street.
29th Street is where I cut my Vulcan teeth and brought my kids. You know, I mean, my kids now are adults and movie snobs, but only because they were exposed to the greatest movies, you know, that have been made. That's why I'm next to the director's wall, which just is a wonderful thing that you can't really get this experience online. Just to kind of drift through the stacks and go from, you know, Altman to Cameron to Capra. It's great. The Coens. I mean, you just go down this wall and it's incredible stuff, and you can pick it up. A lot of times you can see the original marketing, how different it is from marketing today. Well, like here's one, The Dumbwaiter. The Dumbwaiter looks like the classics, 80s kind of, you know, The Dumbwaiter. Tom Conti and John Travolta. Not one of Travolta's best known.
No.
But I mean, you can't find, you know, you might pass that by online because you're not interested in it in the first place.
And you wouldn't even know how to find it or
why you would search for it. Here you really can drift through the building and see everything you need to see. Now, from a screenwriting standpoint, and I'm part of a writing team with Fred Ellis, the first person to hire us was Spielberg, and it became very clear in a hurry, you better know a lot of movies. When he starts referencing movies, it's important to see them.
Yeah.
And so Vulcan was great for that, because that was kind of just at the emergence of Turner Classic Movies, which now I think is kind of like a national park of its own. But there's no substitute for going through and physically like picking up things. You know, it's funny because one of my sons is a senior in college, and he is an audiophile and a musician, and he loves vinyl, and he loves to go to album stores because you can kind of piece through everything and pick them up and look at the market.
And this is like an album store from
it is.
I never thought about it that way.
Well, the one difference is with vinyl, there is the claim that it is superior audio. Now with the streaming experience and everything, I don't know that this kind of format, either DVDs or old VHSs, have anything over the streaming
So is it more an accessibility issue then?
Yeah, it is. And you know, I'll tell you, the verb that's thrown around today so carelessly is curate. You know, people are now curating curated French fries and curated coffee. That's not what the word means. Saying Princess Bride. I don't think that word means what you think it means. But in this case, you always, the employees, they are passionate. They're really knowledgeable. They can get in, you know, arguments are kind of fun about movies. There are all these top 10 lists that we used to come up with when my kids were younger, and we'd argue about what should be in the top 10 this or the top 20 that. Now there are websites. that
Yeah.
you know, that are designed for that. Watch Mojo and Cinefix and things like that. But there's just no substitute for going through and picking it up and having that tactile feeling and seeing some of the truly dreadful movies and the truly great movies that are kind of up on the wall.
So if you would pick one, let's just look at this section, because we want to go back over and talk to Jacob about their GoFundMe. But what would you choose, Monty, if you...
Well, let's move away from Woody Allen, because I think, you know, there's... He's
easy to find.
Well, not only that, but we don't want to get into any sort of political issue.
Okay.
You know, here's a really interesting one. Jules Dassin did one called Rafifi. Here's Rafifi. And Rafifi is a great...
Actually, my husband was just talking about Rafifi and how we needed to see it.
It's really good. And
so what is it about?
It's about a bank robbery. It's about a bank robbery. Very sparse dialogue. It's just a really well done movie. And you'd think this is, you think it's like Jules Dassin, but it's not. It's Jules Dassin, the guy who grew up in New Jersey. But that's one I'd pull out. I'm kind of a De Palma person. I like De Palma. A lot of people don't. But Blowout is one I would recommend. Obviously, I love Carrie. We can just go to, Sesame to Mel Donnan.
This is like a candy store for
you. Oh, it's wonderful.
Isn't it?
It's wonderful fun.
All right, well, pick one out, and then we're going to go back up and talk to...
Oh, you want me to pick one for you to rent?
Or for one for you to rent.
Okay. Well, that's all according to if my credit card works, but we'll do that.
You don't have to actually rent it today.
Okay.
Just like, what would you pick off the shelf?
I would go with...
Not to put any pressure, but...
No, and I know you're under a time constraint.
You're just having way too much fun.
PBS is hammering you to wrap this up. Badlands.
Okay, so why'd you choose that one?
Because it's one of my favorites, and it's Terrence Malick, who also, I think people forget, he's also an Austin director.
Come up with this.
Like Rich Linklater and Robert Rodriguez.
Right. And what's it about?
It is loosely based on the Charlie Starkweather
Photographer's Walking Backwards.
Murders.
Okay.
It's about it's a Bonnie and Clyde. You know, it's a couple on the run from the law.
Oh, fun. Yeah.
But it's really good. And one thing Malick does great is narrative. Not narrative, but a narrator as a character. So it's Sissy Spacek doing the voiceover.
Oh, she does the voiceover on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just great.
So I want you both to talk about one thing, and that is the survival of places like this.
Sure.
What do you think? Do you think that Austin's going to be able to continue to keep this weird? How long have you lived here, Monty?
I moved here before the video. I moved here in 1979, and the first thing people told me was too many people are coming here. Things are going to get out of the cost range of people who live here. It's going to be crowded. Nobody else should come here. That was in 79.
I didn't hear that in 78. Maybe I should have listened. But do you think that this kind of business that keeps Austin weird, that keeps feeding this creative culture, can survive as we move forward and things get so expensive?
Yes, but I think it has to evolve with the times itself to a certain degree. And that's why, Vulcan, since we've kind of started this initiative with the GoFundMe, we've started offering, free outdoor VHS screenings, free beer on Saturdays. We're doing 16 millimeter screenings. It's evolving with the needs of the time, and also saying that we want you to come in. We want you to not only come and rent, we want you to come hang out, and maybe reminding the people who love film in Austin that this is just as much like their spot, their cut, their hub,
their hangout,
to meet other people. And there are other ideas basically being kicked around in terms of where Vulcan goes from here. But again, can it sustain something that does $2.98 rentals forever? No, but nothing can. So you have to keep introducing new ideas and new business
to bring
models.
People under the tent.
Exactly.
Under the tent. So, final question: where are you with your GoFundMe, and how can people find out about it?
Well, we just crossed $29,000 out of our $35,000 goal this morning, which is great. We have, obviously $6,000 left. You can go to the GoFundMe site. It's Save Vulcan Video. But beyond just contributing, I hope that people keep contributing. I really think we are going to hit our goal so that we can get through this lease and tackle the future. But beyond that, just come in.
Come in.
Like,
yeah.
honestly,
you'll meet movie lovers and screenwriters like Monty.
It's a fun place to come and browse. I mean, it is a great place to spend a couple hours.
Yeah.
It's the same reason people who, even if you read movies online, read books online, you like going to bookstores.
Yeah.
It's record stores, and this is it for movies. So.
Yeah.
And the other fundraising hope, I assume, I haven't talked to you about it, but besides doing grassroots fundraising, which sounds like you're doing successfully, is to get a sugar, just one big person for whom the Vulcan brand means something important. Vulcan Video, if you were to interview, I imagine 6 people out of 10 in Austin know what that is.
Right.
When I moved here, 10 out of 10 knew what the armadillo was, and now that's been gone for,
Well, you have had some high-profile people, too.
Oh, yeah. No, you've had, a bunch of people have come through your door that are filmmakers and well-known and successful, and their credit cards work.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I want to thank you both for shedding different perspectives on this particular place and its role in keeping Austin weird and wonderful, and we wish you all the best. And movie lovers, this is a place that is truly Austin, where you can browse the shelves and get to know other movie lovers like yourself. So thanks for watching this afternoon. We're going to be focusing on Iconic Austin for the rest of the month, so we hope you'll stay tuned for some of our other reports coming up. In the meantime, stay cool out there. It's a hot one, and make it a good day.